We have a special guest with us today. It's David. Hi, David. How are you?
Good morning. How are you? Happy
Doing
Friday.
great. Yes, it is Friday. Yes, we're in May already. It's kind of surprising already. Kind of snuck up on me.
Everything's greening up
I
out there.
know. Do you have all those flowers in your yard?
Don't, but I
No?
got them already.
I got them already. Well, David's with the People's Community Bank, and you can find them at the pcb.bank if you want to check them out online. And you guys are on Facebook too. And for right now, you're in the D99.3 studios. Looking forward to another Financial Friday. You guys have such great information when you guys stop in. I love all the things you guys talk about because you go, you tell everybody everything we need to know. I like that. Today we're going to talk about starting up our own business. Do you guys have a lot of people coming to you looking to start up a home business or a new business?
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
Me
there's
too.
always
Okay.
a lot of interest, and of course, small businesses really are kind of the heartbeat of America.
Yes.
Really a big part of our economy. So there's
Yep.
always a lot of questions: where to get started, how do I do this or that.
Mm-hmm.
We try to be a good resource for a lot of people looking to kind of get off the ground and get running.
So how do we get off the ground and get running? What's our first step?
It's really a great question. So it starts really with a little bit of research and planning.
Okay.
Conducting some basic market research. Is there a viable opportunity for the business?
Right.
Gather a little bit of information on potential customers,
Sure.
potential businesses in the area that would support you.
Ah.
Also, you want to make sure if you're starting a business, you want to find your competitive advantage or
Right.
your niche.
Yes. What are people needing, right? That
Yep.
kind of thing?
Absolutely. The next step, really, in my opinion, create a business plan.
Okay.
So, want to really create that roadmap for yourself.
Sure.
That should include some basic information, some market analysis, how you're going to be structured,
Okay.
what products, service lines you're going to offer. But that should also kind of outline your funding request and include
Yes.
your financial projections.
Okay.
In that funding question, that's part of your business plan. That'll kind of allow you to figure out, how much money you'll need to get going.
Okay.
If you have that money on hand, that's great, but that can be very rare.
Yeah.
So then you're going to need to raise capital or potentially talk to a guy like me, a lender,
Sure.
to borrow that money. The other important thing is to consider is really where you're going to be located. So
Okay.
it's really an important decision. Are you going to be brick and mortar, or are you going to be online? Maybe a combination.
Have you found a big difference in that these days, that they're seeing more success in one area or the other?
Boy, I think it really is. They do both. They want
Sure.
to hit as many segments as they can.
Yeah.
Both locally, but then online, it obviously allows them to expand beyond just geographic area.
And I feel like if it's a local business too, people are going to be more inclined to stop in
Sure.
and see what you have. Because in a lot of cases, it might be somebody owning that and working there.
100%.
Yeah, support your local businesses.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the next thing I had down was just choose that business structure. That structure can, impact your registration requirements, ultimately your taxes. So I'm talking like, are you going
Oh.
to be an LLC,
Sure.
partnership, S corp, etc.
Do you go over that if we have questions to find out what's going to work best for us?
Absolutely. So talk
Okay.
to your lender, talk to your banker. They can work with you. That question really is normally handled by an accountant.
Okay.
As to
Okay.
how to
So get
structure
your
it.
accountant involved too.
Yep,
Oh,
absolutely.
a whole nother segment there.
The next thing I had down was choose your business name. So this is important too. So you want to pick one that really reflects your brand and captures your spirit.
I think that would be the most fun part, is finding a business name, because you
Yeah.
want something catchy and
Unique.
yes, exactly.
Absolutely.
It is fun. That's your whole creative side coming out on that one.
That is not my area of expertise.
So don't ask you. Okay.
Yeah, that I'll leave to somebody else who's got a little bit more creative
Perfect.
mind. Yeah.
Right. Honest answers.
And next, register your business. So you want to make sure it's legal and you want to protect your brand. So we
Okay.
do that by registering with the IRS, the
Oh.
federal government, and then also with the state.
Okay.
Get your articles of organization together with the Wisconsin Department of Financial Institutions.
Okay.
And then lastly, you will open a business account. That'll help you with handling legal tasks, your
Sure.
day-to-day functions.
And you want that separate from personal. That's got to be a separate account.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, I mean, if we're out there thinking about starting a business, what does the bank look for if we're financing the new one? Financial wise, what do we need to worry about?
Yeah, so that's really about the 5 C's of credit. I'll go over those really, really quick.
Okay.
So first is character. It's just basically the borrower's general trustworthiness and
Sure.
credibility. It's really measured by credit score and
okay.
references, resume.
Sure.
But if you do have an existing relationship, with the bank, that does go a long way as well.
Because they know your history.
They know you.
Yep.
We know you.
Yep.
Next, capacity or cash flow. It's the ability to repay the loan. Those financial projections we talked about should show the ability to repay that debt. Ideally, those projections would be prepared by an accountant, but I'll tell you,
Right.
talk to your lender.
Okay.
Because if we have experience in that business or industry, we're going to be able to draw on that to help you prepare those.
Right.
Next is capital. It's just really the amount of money invested by the business owner, or really the down payment.
Sure.
Banks like to see some skin in the game.
Right.
Yeah.
The more the better, too, right?
More the better. It
Yes.
helps.
Yeah.
So banks will collect what's called a personal financial statement, and that's just kind of a quick overview of the prospective owners, assets, liabilities, their net worth, and liquidity.
Sure. Yeah.
The next is conditions. So spend a little bit of time here because there's some hot button topics.
Okay.
It's really how the business is going to use the loan, and then how economic factors and industry factors could impact it.
Sure.
Right now, tariffs are a huge topic of discussion.
Are you seeing a lot of interest in that topic right now?
It's being brought up a lot.
It's everywhere.
By my clients. A lot of people are trying to get ahead of the game and stock up on inventory before they go into effect.
Okay.
So we're helping them kind of get through that. It's going to be interesting to see the impact that they have in the next couple of months and over time. But that certainly is one of those conditions that can impact a business as they get off and running.
Yeah, it depends on what you need for your business.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Yeah.
So, if your cost of goods is going up because of tariffs or just general inflation, that impacts your prices as a business owner.
You have to charge. Yeah.
And then ultimately your profit margin.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And that changes a lot, though, doesn't it? It can
be
change
huge.
all the time.
It can be huge.
Okay.
So the last thing then, the last C is collateral. So that assets that can be pledged as a backup repayments.
What do you usually get for collateral if people are doing something this big?
Well, obviously depends on the request, but whether it's real estate, if it's you're a business that buys heavy inventory, we can take the inventory as collateral.
Okay, that's good.
Equipment. We do a lot of ag lending at our bank, so it can be the farm real estate, it can be farm equipment, personal property. Yep.
So you gotta have all that. A lot of things to think about here. And what do most startups lack on the credit side? If they're looking to come in and get that financial backing, what do we lack and what do we need to work on?
So most times it is collateral.
Okay.
With a little bit of research and some input from your banker, your accountant, you can generally find out if the cash flow is going to be feasible to start the business.
Right.
Then the next step really is collateral. A lot of times to get started, you're going to need capital to borrow, to purchase goods, products, inventory. And for a business owner, really, $1 of inventory for you might be worth half of that to the bank if we ever had to collect. So bridging that gap is really a lot of times that biggest hurdle to overcome.
And this probably is the biggest issue. Do you think it is with people opening up, is the financial backing part of it?
Yeah, it can be. It can be, certainly.
It won't be the name because I think we're all creative enough to come up with fun names.
Yeah.
Yes. So you will work with us to help overcome all those hurdles.
Absolutely.
Do you sometimes have to tell people, like, let's work on this credit for maybe a year and then revisit this in a year?
Certainly.
Okay.
So try to give them benchmarks or target points to improve or shore up specific areas, so that way we can revisit it.
Okay.
Or we can bring on, one of the things I've got down here is there's government programs that we can utilize to maybe bridge that gap now.
Okay.
So,
do you think these government programs are still going to be effective here for a while? Will you take advantage of them now while you can?
Well, for now,
some are going to be guaranteed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So SBA's been around for a very, very long time.
Okay.
USDA program, FSA programs have been around for a very long time. I don't think those are going away anytime soon.
Okay, good.
So those can help kind of bridge the funding gap or shore up a particular area where they would otherwise likely qualify for a loan.
Okay.
So utilizing those programs can help, and
definitely,
especially for startups.
And in the egg world too. Now I know, when a lot of people will think in the egg industry, we're thinking farms, we're thinking big stuff, but there's a lot of offshoots in the egg industry that people are branching into.
Oh, it's massive.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
There's so many opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things. And if somebody were looking to maybe start up a business and they didn't know exactly which way to go, Do you guys give them information on that too?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
We certainly can help provide some answers, and if we don't necessarily know, we can point
Sure.
them in the right direction.
Yeah.
We do have a lot of good ag lenders on staff. So
I think there's a lot of possibilities out there for people who want to start up their own business right now. Yeah. So let's say if I were to apply for a new business loan, what would you need from me now to start getting it going?
Yeah, it's a great question, and it really starts with just a couple of items. We mentioned that personal financial statement.
Yeah.
So that those prospective owners, what is their total assets, how liquid are they,
Okay.
what equity do they have.
Mhm.
We get personal tax returns of those prospective business owners.
Sure.
And then really it's those financial projections. So we want to review those, kind of take a hard look to make sure they do have the ability to repay.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then, we make sure they have their tax ID and register with the state. But then it's really depending on the type of business, that'll be kind of the route we go. So if you're
Right.
buying real estate as part of this, we'll get an offer to purchase.
Okay.
If you're buying equipment or inventory, usually we get the invoice that supports that, just so we have the information of what exactly you're buying.
Okay.
And then if you're pledging other assets, maybe you're pledging some personal assets to get the business loan in order to qualify.
Right.
Then we just get that information as well.
Okay, so you get all that information gathered around, you get started. Do you guys revisit everything at a certain point through the loan period, like every year? Or do you do 6 months, or
Yep.
when it starts up? So you go in and reevaluate everything.
We do, and
Yeah.
we call it annual review time. So
Okay.
if you have a certain dollar amount of loans with us,
Right.
then each year we do collect your financial information. We
Sure.
do a review, generally have a
Right.
conversation with the borrower, rooms
Yeah.
for improvement. Maybe we have some questions for you
Sure.
to help really get some feedback and provide hopefully some insight that'll be helpful for
And
the
keep
borrower.
improving on
Keep
what you
improving,
have.
keep rolling.
I like that. So you guys are there for the entire process.
Yes.
Yes.
We really are.
You're going to be our cheerleaders.
100%.
Exactly. I like that. So if we are applying, let's say we applied next week, how long would it take to actually get that loan to get started?
Yeah, another really good question. It really depends on the request.
Okay.
So the underwriting and the loan decision really can be made in a couple of days. But the caveat there is that if we have all the information we need. So sometimes it could take a few weeks to gather all the information we actually need to make a decision.
Right.
But once we have that, it really only takes a couple of days to make that decision.
Wow, that's actually pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually impressive. Wow, I like that.
Now, that said, even though we've got a loan approval, if it's real estate, we got to order an appraisal, we got to order title work. That's really the longest wait.
Okay.
But the decision really has been made pending those items coming back.
Okay.
Good.
Right. And it works. It's even faster, folks, if you bank with the People's Community Bank, because you
It
guys
is.
know everybody there. Yeah, they know their clients. They do. You guys take a personal interest in everybody there, don't you? I kind of like that too. So let's just branch off here. As a business lender, what you guys do, what is the best part about the job? Do you just love making people's dreams come true?
That's a big part of it. Really, I
Okay.
think it's about the people. So,
Okay.
and that's the customers and borrowers that we get to help, but really also the bank staff. We do have a
Sure.
really good team with a lot of experienced lenders and bank staff.
Uh-huh.
I'm talking more about the lending, but really it's
Right.
staff-wide.
It takes the whole group.
It does.
Yeah.
And on the lending side, we do collaborate a lot on loan structure, finding ways to make things happen. It's really nice when we can help people achieve their goals and kind of be a small part in
Okay.
making that happen.
Yeah.
Now, that said, it can work against you at times. There's times when I have to say no.
To people you really like and that can actually do it. You just
Right.
have to give them a little more time, right?
People you really respect and care
Yeah.
for, but that's why we like to try to sit down and provide those benchmarks so that no can become a yes.
Yep. And you got to be honest with us because you don't want us to get underwater and in
Yep.
trouble. Exactly. But it is a fun job. You guys love what you do.
Yep.
And like you said, you have a great group. We have Ashley, the camera woman, right here too, right?
Birthday girl.
Yes, it's her birthday. Where's Ashley normally located at?
Well, Mazo,
Okay.
and then you work a little bit from home.
Will she be amazing Mamie this afternoon yet? No, she's got the whole day off because it's her birthday. Happy birthday to you. We got her a birthday crown, sash, and almost a Sunday too, right? Yes. But it's a great group of people, folks, and you can get to know them too at the People's Community Bank. Stop on in at any of their locations. Do you, off the top of your head, know your locations?
I do. So we
Okay.
got Barneville, Mazomanie, Arena,
Okay.
Spring Green, Plain, and Richland Center.
Okay, lots of locations, folks. You can stop on in. If you're thinking of starting your own business, it's a great opportunity. I think the environment right now is a great time for starting new businesses too.
I hope so. I mean, like I said, it's really the key part of the economy in America is that's really the backbone,
Yeah,
the heartbeat.
It is.
So
there's a lot of creative and ingenious people out there who could do it too. So get the financial backing, get the plan going, get everything you need to know. Stop on in at the People's Community Bank at any of their locations and talk to a lender, and they'll help you out. Make sure you have what you need. I think